So thank you so much, all of you, for joining in. The very fact that on a first Saturday of 2024, you have made a choice to be in this session tells me that each one of you wants to imbibe something or the other, which will give you the success the way you have defined the success in your life. That's very heartening to note. What we'll do now is, as Arvind always says, that like, can we begin with a picture? So can I request all of you to put your videos on? Arvind will have a quick screenshot,
Yes.
and then we will quickly move forward. Good to see you, Sumit. You have become absolutely American.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, fantastic. Zoya, good to see you along with Sarah.
She's even listening with one headphone. So
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Casting young, okay. Nice. Dakshija, good to see you as well. Thank you, Radha.
Jimmy.
Thank you, Mr. Satish Sapru. Good morning.
Nice. So let's have a quick picture, please. Arvind,
Right.
we'll move
So
forward.
I'll give count till 5 for those people who are not able to have the videos on. 5, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on the count of 3, let's say cheese. 3, 2, 1. Say cheese.
Cheese.
Thank you. I've captured the cheese. And over to you, Jimmy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me stop. Let me start sharing rather. So the screen is shared. If you can just go to your chat window and quickly tell us what prompted you, just one liner, the location you have logged in from, and what prompted you to join the session. Quickly, before we move on. There I see the message is starting coming in. Manoj is from Mumbai. Welcome, Manoj. Florida, US. Sumit, thank you so much. I'm sure it is late midnight or early morning there. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. So Dora from Uganda, thank you for joining. Bangalore, New Delhi, Gurgaon, fantastic, lovely, amazing. So we have people from more, far across the corners of this world. A lot of people from India, a lot of people from, we have people from US and Uganda as well. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. Just one line or just one pointer. Why did you choose to spend next 1 hour with us? Maybe on the chat window itself. One liner or one word is good enough. Why did you choose to spend this next 1 hour with us? New resolution leads me to get better and thus better habits. Okay, that's what Zoya says. I want to succeed this year. Okay, exploring myself with all of you to unlock the better version of me. That's fantastic. Maybe I'll take another 30 seconds for this. Some exciting stuff. To explore. I am putting everybody on mute in case you have to speak. You can unmute yourself. Lovely. I think so. What I'm going to do is let me quickly move forward and learning new habits, make 2022 for the best year, to rewire myself, to be consistent in every work. I believe in magic, believe that 2022 will be a magic game changer for me. Let's start with good habits. There are no bad habits. It's just the outcome which says good or bad. To accelerate the journey in a better way. Fantastic. Let's quickly move forward. And, what we're going to do is, since we are recording this, the recording will be made available on our YouTube channel by the name Jimmy Jain. So if you have not subscribed to it, if you wish, you can always go there and you can always access this recording there. Now, what is our agenda? Our agenda would be why habits are important. We begin with that. How can we form new habits? And what habits we recommend for 2024. Now, that's what we feel are based on our understanding and our research, that something which will give you success in this ever-changing scenario. Now, let's straight away move forward. And as Arvind said, keep on writing your questions in the chat window, or in the end, we'll have about 15 minutes of Q&A. You can always have, unmute yourself and can talk. Now let me do something very, very bluntly on your face, that all of us are slaves of our actions, of our habits, whether we like it or not. And habits can be both beneficial as well as detrimental. However, because somebody said, in the chat window that I want to form good habits. Well, the outcome tells us what is good or bad. And if you have to ask me, a habit is nothing but a set of actions I do or routine behavior that is regularly repeated and tends to occur subconsciously. Right? So there is always a cue which takes you to the routine, which gives you the reward. If you see anything what you do, for example, I have this habit of drinking tea after every 2 3 hours. So the moment I look at the time, it gives me a cue. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Time for me to go and have a cup of tea. Right. The reward is I get 5 10 minutes of peace away from whatever is happening in the workplace. Yep. Now the question is, if you see habit and as James Clear mentions, there are four parts to any habit formation, if you see, right? The first is noticing, wanting, doing, and liking. One second, I'm just, there is somebody who send me that they're not able to join in. So I've just sent them the link. Now, if you see, most of us, when you look at the noticing part, we most of us think that we lack motivation. However, instead of lacking motivation, we lack clarity. What is that we want to do? That's the first part, right? And knowingly, unknowingly, I'm sure there are a lot of people. Even if I do a poll right now, some of you will say yes, I want to lose 10 kgs of weight. Some will say I want to lose, I want to stay fit. I want to run a marathon. Now, what we are doing is we are looking at the end line. The first thing which I want to start making a difference in the way you approach any of the action which you want to imbibe is start optimizing the start line. Don't look at the finish line. Okay. For example, if you want to lose weight, right? Well, the start line would be start eating healthy food. Start doing some exercises. Keep the end in mind for sure. However, keep start line as the start line. Don't look at the end result straight away. Yeah. So do optimize the start. That's extremely critical. And what happens is when we do it now, for us to make anything happen, you need to also ensure that there's an environment around you which will support of execution of that action. Right. For example, I remember that when I used to play tennis in the school, uh, after that, the other priority of the life takes over. You get into college and get finding a job, so on and so forth. But somewhere at the back of the head, I told myself I have to restart playing tennis. So the first thing I did was I bought a new racket and I put it at a place wherein I will see it and it will keep on reminding me that, you know what, Jimmy, you have to start playing tennis again. So create an environment around you which will remind you, or as simple as that, you can also create an accountability partner, a friend of yours, a family member of yours, who probably want to build the same habit. Check with each other. Why and when are we starting? Why have we not started yet? And the moment we see the reward, that's where we continue to like it. That's where we continue to do it more. But always remember, when you look at habits, if we keep on making the same choices, we will end up doing the same actions. The same actions are going to give you the same results. The same results are going to give you the same life. So if you really want to make a difference, you need to start at the mindset level, right? That's where the key to the habits is. Now, what we are recommending is what could be the success habits for 2024, and I'm going to recommend 12 habits to you, one for each month. Now, that doesn't mean that you have started first one and you leave that one and pick up the second one. No, you keep the 1 2 3. By the time the 12th month is there, you have all the 12 imbibed in you. Okay. So that's what our recommendation is. Now, the first is add 30 minutes to your wake up time. Now, this is extremely simple thing to do, but a very powerful thing. And I'll tell you, all the habits which I'm going to share with you, I have implemented all of them. And that's the reason why It gives me that right, if I may use that term, to come and stand and speak in front of you to tell you this is what you will do. Mere adding 30 minutes to your wake up time will give you a lot of independence. Whatever time you wake up in the morning, let's say you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, ensure that you wake up at 5:30. If you wake up at 6:30, make it 6. Right? Don't straight away say, okay, fine, from tomorrow onwards, I'll start waking up at 4 o'clock. You will not be able to. Make those small steps. So the first thing is add 30 minutes to your wake up time. And I have seen the moment you do this consistently over a period of time, there would be a time when you will ask yourself, oh my God, I have so much of free time. What do I do with this? And on the contrary, if you wake up, we all carry that urgency blanket from morning till evening, always struggling. So that's the first habit I would really want you to start imbibing. And interesting part is our brain is very, very lazy. Yes, you heard it right. Brain is extremely lazy. Any change you would want to make in your actions, your body will first of all refuse, because the brain will start using extra energy to make that new action happen. Okay. However, that's where your character, your determination will be tested. So create an environment, an ecosystem. I'll quickly share with you the most of you are in the deal community. So when we started the meditation session, and today I think was the 26th day, every day we meet at 6 o'clock in the morning. And there's an absolute pull. There is no push. Every day we meet for 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes of meditation, and then 10 minutes of journaling or affirmations. And it's working so well. So add 30 minutes to your wake up time. The second is you need to forgive people, forgive yourself, forgive people. We carry a lot of baggage knowingly, unknowingly. Just let it go. Now, what data says is 2.5 lakh people, 2.5 lakh people do not wake up from their sleep in the morning. Well, if that is the case, why do we carry any grudge? Well, let me tell you another hard fact of our life. When I go to sleep in the night, there's only a hope I will wake up. There is no guarantee. Well, tomorrow morning sun is still far. The breath which I've just taken, there is no guarantee I'll get the next one. Well, if that is the case, just forgive. It's okay. Move on. The person may not deserve forgiveness, but you deserve a mental peace. Forgive yourself. A lot of people are become really harsh on themselves. So just forgive yourself and forgive people. It's okay. They were meant to teach you something. Look at it like that. They were meant to teach you something. They've given you that lesson. Move on. It's hard, but it's doable. This is something which is very, 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 very dear to my heart, and something which I have been practicing, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of effort. I want each one of you in this 2024 be the most polite, the best listener, and the most enthusiastic person you know. There are times you will realize there are triggers which makes you lose your cool. Now that's where, again, if you may use the word, your character would be tested. Be the most polite, be the most lovable person you know. And you will realize, knowingly, unknowingly, you will start attracting those kind of people only around your life. Be the best listener. And when you talk to somebody, remember, listening doesn't happen through ears. It happens through eyes and the heart. Just be there when somebody's talking to you and have that enthusiasm, a childlike enthusiasm in everything you do. Yep. Fourth one, focus on what it could be than what it is. Always look at what could be their desired future state. Circumstances would be tough for some of us. Yes, we accept that. But do you change your dreams based on the circumstances, or do you change the circumstances based on your dreams? Is my question. Right? So focus on what it could be than what it is. Always remember, each one of you is worthy of so much of abundance available in this universe. And every time you say to yourself, oh, it's difficult, oh, it's costly, oh, I can't do that, indirectly you are saying you don't need it. Think it over. So focus on what it could be than what it is. Next habit is, when you work with people, when we have people around us, of course, we are social animals. Let's look at what is right in people instead of what is wrong with them. We have this tendency to always look at what's wrong with people. Well, each one of them would have something which may not be to your liking, and you can't term it as wrong. This is very interesting. Huh? Something which you don't like, we end up saying being wrong. In others' perspective, maybe it is right. So let's focus on what is right in people instead of focusing what is wrong in them. Yeah. Now, what you need to do is, this again stems from my firm belief in positive psychology. Knowingly, unknowingly, we start looking at what wrong the person is doing instead of focusing on what he or she is doing right. So begin with that. Look at what is right in people instead of what's wrong. The sixth one being visualize for everything, be it a meeting or a conversation or a dinner. Now, this will be surprising for some of us to know. Uh, the brain science says when we imagine anything and we actually live that moment in our imagination, our brain has no capacity to distinguish whether it is an imagination or a real experience. The brain thinks it is the experience. So brain cannot distinguish between what is imagination and what is a real-time experience. And this can really be a game changer. This one habit could be a game changer. Whether you're going out for a dinner or a business meeting or any conversation, a critical conversation or otherwise, always visualize what is the outcome you wish to have. Just visualize. Maybe you could do a simple exercise, close your eyes and imagine whatever you wish to achieve through that meeting, through that conversation, through that um, dinner meet or a coffee meet, and imagine that. And then after you have lived that moment for about a minute or two, open your eyes, go into that meeting. And I can guarantee you, it could be a game changer. Life can become magic. Habit 7, something which I really, really love, which I really follow. Always tell yourself that there is something good is about to happen. Good is happening, yes, some more good will happen. There are times you will feel bad. There are times you will feel down. There are times you don't want to do anything. At that point of time, just remember, tell yourself something good is about to happen. In fact, if you wish, some of you can also put up a sticky note, maybe on your mirror where you clean your teeth, or maybe you dress up, somewhere, maybe in your cubicle, somewhere to remind you, you know what, something good is about to happen. So what I'll probably do is, since we are on the habit 7, we have to cover 12. I'll just take a pause and check if there is any question or if there is anything anybody wants to ask so far.
Hi, Jimmy. I don't find any question as of now. But in habit number 2, you told us that forgive people and forgive yourself. When it comes to forgiving people, Jimmy, it often happens that there are lots of people whom we find in the list of forgiveness. So, shall we forgive them all, or shall we forgive them one by one?
Okay. So if I may answer this, it's an interesting question. Thank you so much for asking, Arvindji.
Yeah.
Uh, there's no mass forgiveness because each of those individuals has not given you the same experience or the same hurt, so to say.
Okay.
So it has to be one-on-one. And to me, a very simple parameter or a barometer of whether you're forgiven somebody or not is, in case if you happen to meet that individual again, you should have that feeling of indifference. That in a true sense will tell you whether you're forgiven somebody or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has to be done one by one piece. Now also remember, uh, when I say forgiveness, you cannot forgive people. Even though I say forgive people and forgive yourself, you cannot forgive yourself or forgive anybody else. However, you can forgive them for the way they have made you feel. feel. Because how do we know that, for all you know, the grudge you are carrying today, maybe for last so many years about a particular individual, that person is not even aware. He or she is living their life happily and merrily. And here we are sulking and carrying that, in a way, I always say that people who you have not forgiven are occupying your head, and that too rent-free space they are occupying. Yeah. So that's the key to forgiveness. It's very difficult, but yes, one must attempt it. It's doable.
So if we find there are 11 people in my list of forgiveness, so shall we give them some priority? This one is the easiest. Let's forgive him it first, and then there must be someone who is very hard, is hard to forgive. So keep him at the last, or something like that.
Possible. It is absolutely possible, because depending upon, as I said, the degree of the hurt, you may want to spend some more time with somebody who is given you more hurt. Yes, that's doable. But I think I'll go back to what Stephen Covey always said: big rocks first. So take care of the the bigger challenges first. The smaller one will automatically be taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, in this 7 habits which you have shared, Jimmy, but the two I love the most. Obviously, I'm going to fall into. I'm going to follow all of them. But the two I love the most was change your dreams. Don't change your current circumstance, and don't change your dreams. Change your current circumstances. And number two was key for a brain or for a mind, whether it's an illusion or it's reality. It cannot differentiate between the two.
Absolutely. Your brain
That
has
is,
no capacity,
so
because the brain, it does not know whether you're imagining or whether it is reality.
absolutely.
Brain has no way to know that.
So these are the two of my favorite ones. So I think I've got 25, 26 people here as well. So if someone will like to share his or her favorite ones.
Okay, let me quickly go to the chat as well.
Panda, you are pressing some horn.
Jimmy, can I share my thought on this?
Sure, please go ahead.
Jimmy, I am very impressed with the Jainism theory. एक क्षमा पर पे हमारे की जैन फ्रेंड्स का मैसेज आता है कि साल में एक बार कि आपको कभी मन वचन कम से कुछ कहा हो तो मेरे को माफ कर दीजिएगा.
Yes.
हाँ, तो मतलब उसमें उसमें तो फिर, और इसमें मेरा कहना है कि जैसे कि आज 1 जनवरी है और आज मैंने सबको माफ कर दिया. लेट द न्यू ईयर बिगिन.
Absolutely. बिल्कुल
So
कर
this is the more easiest way to clean your recycle bin.
You can always do that. You can always do that. Yes. Absolutely. Michhami Dukkham. That's what the term in Jainism is.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rajesh. And I'll just request all of you to please converse in English because we have got some international audience as well. So
Okay.
just in case if you're not aware of. And we have got Divya who has raised her hand. Yes, Divya, you want to say something?
Hi everyone, morning.
Morning.
Very interesting conversation, and all of them are favorite topics, right? But especially forgiveness because it's so close to my heart as well, like Jimmy mentioned. Um, to extend on, why what Jimmy was explaining in terms of why forgiveness is important. I had heard this very good quote that made an impact on my journey of forgiveness, which is like, your hurt and the grudge that you hold against that other person who's hurt you is like holding a charcoal in your hand. It's burning your hand and it really isn't making a difference to the other person. So it's your choice to throw it away or continue holding it in your hand. I mean, that really was a game changer in how I looked at forgiveness. And I think picking one or two people at a time and taking your own time to forgive them and seeing how that goes was how I started. And now, of course, it's become habitual. That's one. The second thought that, of course, I would like to share, from the seven habits of highly effective people is the fact that I think there is an overlap.
No, you're perfectly all right, Divya. Go ahead.
I think there's some sound from some other window.
Okay,
Is it?
I'll just share my very last thought is that from the 7 habits of highly effective people, I think carry your own weather just really, really struck with me. So every time I'm sulking, it has now become habit.
Divya, you have to unmute. Divya,
Divya, you're
please
on mute.
unmute yourself. You're on mute. Hi, Divya. You're on mute.
Oh, but you're on mute also.
Unmute yourself.
Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Oh, we understood, but you are in mute as well.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
The only last thought I wanted to share from Seven Habits was that carry your own weather is something that really, really struck. No matter how sulking I am, that thought kind of comes in at the right time. Initially, it's difficult to make that manage to make it, sometimes successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully. Those were two thoughts that I wanted to share pertaining to the conversation that we were just having. Thank you, everyone.
Much for sharing these thoughts. Thank you, Fandaji, as well. In fact, so far, whatever I have shared, my favorite quote, if Arvind allows me to share that, is, same thoughts leads to same choices leads to same behavior leads to same experience going to give you same emotions, right? So unless otherwise we address that root, we can we will continue to have what we already have or we already are, experiencing. Great. Thank you so much, all of you. So let's quickly move forward and then we'll have one more round of Q&A as we move on, or sharing this rather than saying a Q&A, more of a sharing. Now, habit number 8. Every day morning, write 3 things why your day should be good and keep referring to it. I found this really interesting. For example, you define in the morning that these are the 3 things um, why your day should be good. Keep referring to it every 2 hours, every 1 hour. Stick it somewhere. Maybe give yourself a reminder of every 1 hour, every 2 hour on your phone. But you will realize that you will stay anchored on making your day good. When people say have a good day, so more than have a good day, I mean, I would say make today a good day. That's extremely important, right? Habit number 9. Say good things about yourself always. A lot of us are self-critical. Yes, I do understand. However, again, tapping into the vast knowledge of neuroscience, your brain has no capacity to distinguish what is a good thought and what is a bad thought. A thought is a thought. What is good thought for me could be bad thought for somebody else. What is bad thought for somebody may be good thought for me. Which means what? Every time, whatever your thought is, it will manifest over a period of time. Now, some of you would say, well, unless otherwise I criticize myself, unless it doesn't motivate me. Yes, I do appreciate that. That being the case, add the word yet, Y-E-T, at the end of the statement. For example, recently I was meeting somebody and, it was a social gathering and the gentleman said, oh, hi, I'm sorry, I'm always bad at names. And I told him, you'll always be bad at names because that is what you are affirming to yourself. So add yet in the end, it can make a lot of difference. Habit number 10, time is now. Do not postpone anything. Time is now. And I just said some time back, there is no guarantee of our lives, right? We have this tendency, when that will happen, or this will happen. When this will happen, or that will certainly happen. Time is now. Time is now. Please do not postpone anything. It's all a matter of priority. And I have seen when you commit to something, your schedule will start arranging everything around that commitment. Question is, how committed are you to whatever you wish to achieve? One of the very simple things what you could do is, what I always say is, if then framework. Whatever new habit you wish to start, let's say, fast forward yourself to 6 months from hence. Let us say right now it is 1st of July. 6 months have passed by of 2024. And take stock of whatever you wanted to start as a habit. Have you done it or not? So if then talks about if you don't do something or a new habit, what is the consequence you're going to face? And sometimes we start to enjoy the pain. We don't even realize it. And the change happens only and only when pain becomes unbearable. Show yourself the consequence of if you don't follow that new thing which you want to imbibe in your life, what's going to be the consequence? If you're able to live with those consequences, fantastic, no need to do anything. However, If not, then probably time for you to make a small shift in whatever we are doing. Habit number 11, find what you enjoy. You won't have to force yourself. Uh, People say Monday blues, especially if I talk about work, and I tell them I don't know what Monday blues are. Uh, Now, some of us, some people think that, you know what, Jimmy's just exaggerating, but that's a fact. I really love what I do. I really enjoy what I do. It took me almost 13 years to uncover what I really love doing. And it is because of that sheer love that probably you're organizing this session as well. Just find out, just ask yourself, what is that you enjoy doing? What is it that you would do? What is that would give you tons of satisfaction? And that's something which I would really want to focus on. In fact, again, I go to my firm the firm belief of the positive psychology, especially the research done by Gallup on Clifton strengths. Understand your strengths, understand who you are. And if you focus on those talents, invest some time into it, it becomes your strength. And you don't have to force anything at all, at all. Yeah. And I can see a lot of people here are lovers of Clifton strengths. Yes. Okay, the habit number 12, and then we'll get to some Q&A. Introduce a replacement routine then changing drastically. Now, this is extremely important. This, in a way, will also address the environment part. For example, if I want to replace my habit of drinking tea or coffee and say, oh, from today onwards, I will stop drinking it. It will not happen. What I could do is replacement routine. For example, say, not sure whether Tulika is logged in here today. Let me just quickly check.
Tulika was there.
Tulika, she was there. Not sure she's still there. Okay, I don't see her. That's okay. Right. So what I've done is I've replaced this habit of drinking tea with another energy drink, a fresh. The process is by and large the same. The only difference is it's hot water and I add a fresh into it. To me, the experience is the same. So, but instead of that tea, I have replaced that with something else. It has really helped me. My routine remains the same, but the outcome is changing. So please do not change, right, drastically. Just introduce a replacement routine. And you will realize that if you look at these 12 habits, if you really want to start, I'll quickly recap for you. Add 30 minutes to your wake-up time, forgive yourself and forgive people. Be the most polite, best listener, and the most enthusiastic person you know. Focus on what it could be than what it is. Look at what is right in people instead of what is wrong. Visualize for everything, be it a meeting, conversation, or a dinner. Always tell yourself something good is about to happen. Every day morning, write 3 things why your day should be good and keep referring to it. Say good things about yourself always. And time is now. Please don't postpone anything. Find what you enjoy. You won't have to force yourself and introduce a replacement routine, then changing drastically. So these are 12 habits I would really urge you to start imbibing. What I've done is the entire all the entire 12 habits. There's an article also on our blogspot. I will share that link as well. It is also shared on the LinkedIn. You can always refer to that article. This recording is also available for you. We will send you the link as well. It will be available on the YouTube channel. So I'll probably stop here to have any conversations, comments, sharing on what we have done today.
Jimmy, as I can see, Srinivas has mentioned aptly that it connects with so many points explained by you. Learned a lot. Thanks for giving such a wonderful session. Srinivas, can I just ask you to share a few of the points where it connected? That would be lovely. Only if you wish.
Thank you, Srinivas. Maybe we can check with Gaurav also for giving myself, give me the clarity where I go forward. Okay.
Wow.
Definitely, Jimmy and Arvindji. One part which I can say, almost all the points connected well. And one thing is say good things about yourself always. Many times, in fact, we learned this in the last many years, last few years, is that talk about good yourself, feel good about yourself, and never ever maybe criticize yourself. Maybe learning is one thing definitely, but never talk anything negative about you is wonderful point, super wonderful point. Jimmy mentioned really, really touching me a lot. Super. Thanks, Arvind for asking this. Okay,
Thank you, Srinivas. And
thank you.
Jimmy, Dora has missed on the habit number 8.
Okay, so I'll
So
quickly let me share that summary screen one more time. Feel free to take a screenshot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it says is number 8 says every day morning write 3 things why your day should be good and keep referring to it. That's what we urge you as habit number 8.
I think if we follow habit number 8, then the other 11 will fall into place. It's getting the habit of writing.
All of them are interconnected somehow or the other.
Absolutely right. Gaurav says that pain only deepens and has an unsettling comfort, which offers you not to come out of it. However, if one forgives self for situation you are in, hope for a better future ignites and it happens. Yes, Gaurav, absolutely right. Give me your thought on that.
Well, let me stop sharing the screen and look at the response again. Pain only deepens and has an unsettling comfort, which offers not to come out of it. Yeah, we as I said, sometimes another interesting part about this is our brain loves familiarity. Now, this is interesting. Our brains love familiarity, and whatever the situation may be, or whatever the circumstances we may be, good, bad is a material. Our brain is living that, and the moment those circumstances also change, we are having that feeling of vacuum of the previous feeling, and our brain would pull us back there. So sometimes when we are living in pain on something or the other, we would want to relive that, and unless otherwise we want to come out of it, we stays there. We continue to stay there. And yes, a lot of people talk about self love. It's very, very important, but do understand how can you take care of the self love. You have to, just that 30 minutes, what I told you in the morning to wake up, the habit number 1, which I said, it's actually your me time. Because I have seen at my place when I wake up early, everybody else is asleep, but nobody's disturbing you. You have all the time to yourself. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for Gaurav. I think Divya also has raised the hand. I mean, her hand again. Divya, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to add something I had learned with respect to, what Gaurav shared about pain deepening, and it seeming like an endless cycle, where we are trying to heal, but the pain simply just keeps coming on. This was an excerpt from the book Lighter by the author Young Pablo that I would just read and completed, in which he says that often our expectation as individuals who are going through a healing journey is that the pain ends and then there is an onset of a happy cycle, which we somewhere in our mind expect that it will never end. But in reality, both of these go together hand in hand like two tracks of, a railway track. And hence that awareness can, help you go through that journey a lot more easier. Happiness as well as sadness that comes from very deep inside can actually coexist if you allow it to be and expect for them to not to be mutually exclusive. I hope I didn't complicate that, but I think that was a very interesting thought that came to me in my healing journey, and hopefully that will add perspective to Gaurav's thought as well.
Nice.
Yes, Divya,
Thanks.
that is nice. In fact, Jimmy, I'd like to add to the point number 1, the habit number 1, at 30 minutes. I'll go to the start. So I'll just relate an example. Today in the morning, I woke up at 5 o'clock. Normally, I used to wake up at 5:30. And my routine, I play badminton every day in the morning. So when I used to wake up at 5:30, my schedule was to start from 6:30. So I wasn't able to have the right kind of warm up before the games. And I used to lose a few games, and I had some pain in the back and the knee when I used to finish those games. But today, when I woke up 30 minutes early, I reached there at 6. I was able to do the right kind of warm-up activities. And when I was warmed up, I played well. And when I played well, I was at the end of the session, I was having no pain in my knees and no pain in my back. So I should definitely add to it that habit number 1 will make you more successful.
Interesting. Interesting. It takes away that urgency blanket.
Yes, absolutely right. So Srinivas says, "Ki, I will implement point number 1, wake up 30 minutes earlier from tomorrow itself."
Fantastic.
Great,
Fantastic.
fantastic.
Lovely.
I'll ask more participants to share their thoughts, their questions, their emotions, their feelings about the 12 habits shared by Jimmy. Anyone? What's your thought on it? You can share it on the message. You can unmute yourself and say something. Okay.
I would like to add here that I read this book Atomic Habits from James Clear by James Clear, where he stated that 1% of change can bring about exponential, habit changing outcome which you expect by the end of the year. So it's like it will be many folds. You won't even realize that little one baby step can cause so. I mean that the outcome can be so big, so large. So I believe that we can just start with taking that 1% change, bringing about that 1% change, which is not much to ask. I have brought about a lot of changes in myself, my routine, certain habits that I wanted to break. I was able to do that. Just following that thought, always is there in the back of my mind that I have to bring that 1% change, and I stick to my routine. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Fantastic, Jyoti.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you, Jyoti. And Gaurav says, example of 3 things. Why my day should be good. Should we avoid mentioning goals here, as if not achieved in the day may end up stressed out rather? And Gaurav, can you elaborate it further, or is it possible for you to come on the audio to let us understand as to what you want to say? Okay. No issues, Gaurav. Srinivas says 1% changes every day brings 37.78 changes in a year by
Yeah.
James Clear.
Arvindji, if I go back to what Gaurav has mentioned,
Yes.
when you attach your happiness to goals, or you will realize that you will always be in that constant state of validation by external sources. Now, you may want to write goals, there's nothing wrong in it. However, either you ensure that you complete them. My recommendation is, instead of attaching it to goals, mention that how do you want to feel? What will give you joy? What will give you happiness? Attach it to that, right? And then you will realize that if you have made it a plan in the morning that this is how my day should be, your efforts will be aimed at that, instead of efforts putting in the efforts are going everywhere in every direction. They also become very focused efforts. So try doing that, Gaurav.
Absolutely, and as rightly said by Jimmy, that when you imagine the end result and you attach the emotions to it, your mind cannot differentiate between the illusion and the reality, and it takes that as a reality that you have achieved the goals. And Srinivas says 1% change every day brings 37.78% change in every year. Yes, let me elaborate more on that. If we do a simple mathematical calculation, 1 to the power of 365, that is equal to 1. But if we write 1.01 to the power of 365, it becomes 37.78. That is what Srinivas is trying to tell us here. Right, Srinivas? Absolutely right. Jimmy, you want to say anything on that?
I think it's a well-researched subject. It's also already published. So those small baby steps can really bring a lot of difference. It could be anything. Just ensure that, I'll again go back to what I always tell. Um, if you look at, I do a lot of running. So my GPS watch is of Garmin brand. Not that I'm a brand ambassador, but I really like their hashtag, beat yesterday. That today I'm going to be a better version of who I was yesterday. And tomorrow I will be better than who I was yesterday. Who I am today, I'll become better than that tomorrow. Beat yesterday, as simple as that. Just that goal. And you will realize automatically the larger goals will be taken care of. For example, if you start running 2 kilometers every day, 5 kilometers every day, you will realize eventually you will get fit.
And
Instead of
Jimmy,
focusing on,
one
sorry,
question which comes to my mind is that normally people say that things are not happening well in my life. Lots of things are happening not in the desired way or the desired fashion. Then how is it possible to pursue habit number 7, which says that always tell yourself that something good is about to happen?
oh, okay. First of all, when I say when people say that nothing good is happening in their life, they have to stop saying that. That's the first part, right? And somewhere this may sound a little philosophical, but that's the hard fact of life. Each one of us have actually designed where we are today. We don't, whether we know it or not. So each one of us have reached that space, and if you don't like it, start doing something else. Redesign it. Because today, what we will do is going to make that future. What you have done yesterday is what you are today. Well, things may not be the way you want them to be. I always recommend this: write down how you want your life to be. That's the first step. Define it. And then ask yourself, if this is my desired future state, what is preventing me to live that exceptional life? Find those areas. What are those baby steps I need to do? And that's where the entire difference comes in. Either we continue to blame circumstances, or we take charge, we take ownership that this is what who I am, and this is how I would want to be. And easier said than done, but when you go on to this journey, I can tell you from my experience, everything's fallen in place. Everything falls in place.
Wow, that's lovely. In fact, at the start, Jimmy said that the best way for habit formation is the step number 1 is noticing. I think today everyone has noticed these 12 habits, and everyone has, or most of you have also expressed that you want to do that as well. So the next part is doing, and doing what the best way of doing, as we say, or learning is you teach it to others. So I have taken a pledge that I'm going to tell about these 12 habits to my son. So how about others? Who is that person you have selected or shortlisted whom you are going to tell about these 12 habits? If you can share with us.
Oh, that's an interesting point, Arvind, you have spoken, because when we tell what we know to others, we are doing a big favor to our own selves, because teaching is the best form of learning.
Yeah,
So
right,
thanks,
agree
thanks
there.
for adding that perspective.
I'm going to share it with my scholars. I keep training them every day on
Okay.
various behavioral skills, stress management, time management, etc. So I will possibly I will myself make a deck and train them
So
on
we
this.
we will share this deck with you in case if you want.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Also, I plan to put it up in my daughter's room, take a print of it and put it there so that she doesn't entertain me, by the way. She doesn't like me preaching, teaching her all the time.
So you
But
can call
I will
Jyoti, you
stick
can
it
call
there.
me for that. You can call
I'll
me for that.
surely.
A change in face might make some influence.
Maybe. That's what I was discussing with Jimmy also. I did not materialize for some reasons,
Mhm.
but we'll do it shortly.
So we are in the same city, Jyoti. We can help each other.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, thank you so much.
Like, can I just take one minute, please?
Yeah.
Jimmy. Hello.
Go ahead,
Am I
Jain sir.
audible? Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Manish this side. Very good morning to all of you, and thank you for this session, Jimmy, and to Arvindji, and a lot of other participants to give so many good thoughts. I have just one thing for point number 1. I have got a lot of friends in psychology and who are doctors, who are PhD. And so they tell me that a lot of people come to them for insomnia. They have a lack of sleep and immediate, especially people after 40 and they are in corporate world. So I think point number one sometimes is different for different people because they want to add 30 minutes to their sleep. If they are able to add 30 minutes, 1 hour to their sleep, it will do too good for them. So maybe this point is relevant for people who get a good sleep. That's the only point I want to make.
That's an interesting take. For people who are not able to sleep, for them
Because
the
they
average
don't
they
get
will
fresh.
be able to get a
They
sound
are
sleep.
able to sleep only 2-3 hours and their whole day get wasted. So a lot of cases are there today like this.
Interesting. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that. Maybe we need to understand that why they're not able to get that sleep.
Yeah.
That needs
That's
to
more
be addressed
important.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think if they follow the rest of the 11
Yes.
points, possibly they will get a better sleep.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
lot of
Jyoti, yeah.
baggage. We hold on to it for the
Yeah.
entire day, and then our
So
sleeps get
I just want to
disturbed.
say
I
this
think we
point
keep
number
it
one may not
working
be
on.
universal for everyone.
True,
Maybe
yes, yes.
different for different people because they have written in their first point in their agenda. They need to sleep more and they will go away of the pills or Lprex or whatever medicines they are taking to sleep. So that's what I just wanted to.
Possible, possible.
What my submission, Manish ji, please refer those patients for deal session.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
they'll
They need
improve.
to
This
they
is
need to
I'm
follow
telling
the
from the
other
bottom of
11
my heart.
points also.
This is my experience.
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
I agree to what Jyoti is saying. If they follow perhaps the other 11, perhaps the first one will fall into place.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
never know. In fact, Manish, I'll just say that we all of us say that the entire world is against us. So, okay, let the entire world be against us. The only two things which are with us, our body and our mind. If these two things are with us, we don't care about the entire world.
Sir, the people about whom I'm talking are CEOs of different companies. They are
Yeah.
very learned, they are very
Kill
intelligent, they
yourself.
are very knowledgeable.
Something.
They have gone through so many courses on their own. They
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
gone for meditations. I have got 5-7
Say
examples. They
good
have gone
things
for
about
vipassanas. Everything they have undergone.
line.
But life is like this, sometimes they
Absolutely.
are
I
unable to
agree.
come out of it.
I agree with you. I agree
So
with you.
I'm just saying they need to add more sleep to their schedule. Yeah.
Good, good. So over to you, Jimmy, to wrap the
I
session
think
up. It's getting towards
thank
your
you.
mark.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Arvind, for moderating. I think each one of us have spent good 1 hour of our time today on a Saturday. I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. And wishing all of you an amazing 2024. And as I said, you can always connect with us offline in case if you need any more pointers. We'll be more than happy. Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Jimmy, and
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
Thank
Arvind,
you so
for
much.
taking out the
Thank you,
time
Jimmy.
to.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Jimmy. Thank you,
Namaskar.
Thank you
everyone.
so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
God bless, and have a lovely
Thank you.
2024 for all of you.